to the Prophecy Club. In case you are not aware, we just had a prophet come from Puerto Rico and make a new DVD, and it has blown us away. Our phones have run off the hook with orders, probably the most orders in years. Unfortunately, it is the worst news that I've heard in 35 years of teaching prophecy. Furthermore, it could hit as soon as this year. That's right, you better listen up. 41 years ago, at the tender age of 16, Prophet Ephraim Rodriguez was shown in a vision that a large meteor will hit just west of Puerto Rico and cause a 1,000-foot tsunami there, which will be 200 to 400 foot high as it hits the East Coast and goes inland for 20 to 100 miles, devastating the East Coast of America. And it hits an earthquake fault, and it goes right up the Mississippi River Valley to the Great Lakes, splitting the Great Lakes all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. He also saw that large chunks of California fall into the ocean, and all three events are the result of a meteor hitting. The name of the DVD is called Catastrophe, Meteor, Tsunami, and Earthquake. Well, I did some research to confirm or to discredit the warning, and what I found was startling. So much so, I put it in a DVD. We call it Meteor, the Destruction of America. Here's what I found. I found that Ephraim is not the only one that saw this meteor hit Puerto Rico, because the Bible says, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let a thing be established. You see, if Ephraim was the only person, then we could go back to sleep. But when you got 2 or 3, and in this case on the DVD, I give you 6 people that have seen a large meteor hit near Puerto Rico. 4 people saw a tsunami hit the eastern coast of the United States. 6 people that show that America splits in 2 pieces. 3 people that saw large chunks of California fall into the ocean. 9 people that saw America split because she split Israel. Now, Ephraim was not shown that. Some confirming testimonies I mentioned on this DVD include the names of Maurice Galar, Augusto Perez, Virginia Boldad, Dimitri Duduma's daughter, Shane Warren, Daniel Bowler, Timothy Snodgrass, John Kilpatrick, and more. Essentially, this will be in retaliation from God if, and that's the good news, if America splits Israel. Then God will split America from the Great Lakes to the Gulf of Mexico and hit the west and east coasts. You want to get the Meteor gift offer, both DVDs, 785-266-1112. Gift of $30, both DVDs. It's called the Meteor gift offer. Now, I'm asking that all Prophecy Club listeners join our fast track team at prophecyclub.com and pray that America will not force Israel to give the Palestinians a state. If we force the Palestinians to give a state, then God will split America with that meteor. Kerry is currently twisting Netanyahu's arm, threatening sanctions and removal from office, asking for a Palestinian state by April 29th, 2014. Update news reports say that Israel is not cooperating, yay, with the Palestinian state. And Israel has refused to release some 12,000 terrorists and has approved new building projects in the contested territories. Kerry says the talks are not dead yet, so we need to kill them with prayer. You see, this meteor could hit this year. If America splits Israel, God will split America. The East Coast is hit with a tsunami. West Coast falls into the ocean. America cries for all the nations. It has helped through the years for help. Israel refuses help. Then the Arabs see their opportunity to attack Israel as America has been devastated. Americans sends troops, but Americans turn their back on Israel, saying they didn't help us. Why should we help them? This is the final straw in the eyes of God. America has turned against Israel, split Israel, and God calls for the Russians to attack and devastate this nation. If you want to help, go to prophecyclub.com. Join the Fast Track Fasting Prayer Team and pray this away. It's our only hope. If you want to get the information, then you want to order the Meteor gift offer. You can get it by calling 785-266-1112, or you can go to prophecyclub.com. The Meteor gift offer, 2 DVDs valued at $60. Give to $30, 785-266-1112 or prophecyclub.com. Now, we're going to go ahead and go listen to the DVD that I made confirming what Ephraim had been told. I call it Meteor, the destruction of America.
All right, now let's talk about the Palestinian state or the splitting of Israel. Let me ask you a question. Would you think, as an American, it's a pretty good idea, if the Mexicans were to require that all Americans would be expelled and given full control over the states of California, Nevada, New Mexico, Colorado, Texas? Would you think that would be a good idea? How about giving all full control also over to eastern Washington, D.C., including the White House? And in addition to that, releasing all of the criminals in said states? And give Mexico permission to build their own standing army on those states and allow all Mexicans or anyone else they want to allow into those states to be citizens? Do you think that'd be a pretty good idea? Well, let me tell you, that's what Obama is trying to tell Israel they must do. This report says Netanyahu is willing to concede 90% of Judea and Samaria. That's what that's essentially talking about the same thing. On 2/6/14, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has offered to give the Palestinian Authority full control over 90% of Judea and Samaria. Palestinian leaders continue to demand at least 97% of the territory in Judea and Samaria, full control over eastern Jerusalem, including the Temple Mount, the release of all terrorist prisoners, the ability to arm the police, and the implementation of a so-called right of return. In other words, everybody that wants to can return to that area, come one, come all. And they have to expel between 72,000 and 108,000 Jews from their own land. Lightning goes here. Daniel 11:39 says, "Thus shall he," the Antichrist, "do in the most strongholds with a strange God, whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory. And he shall cause them to rule over many, and he will divide the land." Now, I don't think Obama's the Antichrist. Some do. I don't. But if he splits Israel, and it appears he's going to, he will fulfill that prophecy. Yes or no? If he fulfills that prophecy, what does that make him? Oh, Stan, maybe it's not talking about the dividing of Israel. Maybe it's just talking about dividing the land of the whole globe. Well, I hope you're right. This is Pastor Shane Warren, spoke right here, right behind this pulpit. And he said, he heard the audible voice of God say, "You split my land, now I'll split yours." And he was shown that America will be split from the Great Lakes to the Gulf of Mexico. That's the first person that I heard that God said that that America is going to be split down the middle. Zechariah 12:2 says, "Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling to all people. Round about, and they shall be in the siege both against Judea and against Jerusalem. And in that day, I will make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people of the globe. All that burden themselves with Israel shall be cut in pieces, though," listen to this, "though all the people of the earth be gathered against it." Be gathered together against it. In other words, if the whole world comes down to attack Israel, and they will at Armageddon, they will not win. Okay? In other words, it says Jerusalem's a burdensome stone. Don't mess with it. But what is Obama doing? He's playing with fire. Dan Bowler, another speaker at the Prophecy Club, he spoke November 1997, made a DVD called Coming Judgment on America. In that DVD, he says, and I quote, "The Lord spoke to me and said, what you have just heard is the platelets of the earth shifting in the central part of the United States. There will be mercy before this judgment earthquake. When this happens, you will know that the big earthquake you prophesied will," listen to this, "split this nation." That's number 2. This earthquake you prophesied will split this nation right down the middle if they split Jerusalem. It will happen just as I've told you. Oh, he's just a nutcase. Nut job, hole in the head, weirdo, wacko. Or is he really hearing from God? Timothy Snodgrass. Don't know the guy, but apparently God does. November 20th, 2001, He said, God spoke to me and said, God will divide the United States along the New Madrid Fault if the USA divides Israel. America will be ripped in half. I received a vision of America being ripped in half like a veil from east to west, and I saw the Holy Spirit speak to me and said, if America wishes to divide Jerusalem in half, America shall be divided in half. That's another one. He goes on to say, I saw a major earthquake along the New Madrid Fault line, which literally divided America in half from the east to the west, creating a new gulf which stretched from the Great Lakes in north to the Gulf of Mexico in the south. I received another vision of a great earthquake centered in the 9 vision range, 9.0, centered on the U.S. West Coast. So now we have 3 people that have seen America split in 2. I was sent another YouTube video by one of the congregation members. And it shows this guy says, I was shown a vision in which an angel showed me that the United States would turn against Israel and force Israel to split Jerusalem, giving the Palestinians a state. He saw a map in the United States, and the angel with a long sword stabbed the center of the map, saying, you split my land, now I will split yours. That's the 4th person. This is what he said he saw. Now, that's a pretty wide split. There in the middle, that's all water. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but nevertheless, that's what he was shown. Then Prophet Leslie, right here in this church, we used to have a big map taped right over there, United States map over there, and then a world map taped over here. One morning she was praying over that map, and all of a sudden a vision started, and God showed her that the Great Lakes are going to open up down to Tupelo, Mississippi, and she wasn't certain, but she said it might have been all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. So that's the 5th person. Elaine Durham, October 22 of 76, died for an hour and had an out-of-body experience, as several speakers of the Prophecy Club have. She said, as the angel pointed in front of me a wide view of the land, the water opened up so that at first I thought I was seeing 2 countries. Instantly it was made known to me that I was looking at a vastly changed portion of North America, which was completely divided by a large body of water, and which had lost a part of both eastern and western shorelines. I was informed that this might or might not come to pass according to our choices as people. We know what the choices are. Here's the problem. Will Israel be split? I'll show you the verse. She went on to say the area of water in the middle of the United States was massive. It was so wide and so expansive that there were no Great Lakes, as I had known them, that all come together as one huge sea that extended northward unto the ocean. The inland sea also extended southward, filling most of the Mississippi and Missouri River valleys and widening many, many miles of the Mississippi River where it flows into what we know as the Gulf of Mexico. This sea was so vast that I knew it could not be bridged, and so, in essence, the United States had become as 2 separate countries. Wow. So that's the 6th person that has seen America split. Do we have enough evidence to say that God has spoken? I believe we do. 6 people say the United States is split. Shane Warren, Dan Bowler, Timothy Snodgrass, Leslie Johnson, and they also saw that it's associated with the split of Israel. Augusto Perez and Elaine Durham. Now let's talk about Arafat in the hospital. April 15, 2002, my wife, Prophet Leslie Johnson, was given a dream. She was shown, basically the 6 points of this dream were that Arafat would go into the hospital and die there. And that was a pretty big prophecy to put out then, because at the time, Arafat wasn't even allowed outside of his compound. So to put that on radio, to put it on the internet, send that to our best supporters, that was a big thing. Yet, 2 years later, 11/11/04, 3:30 a.m., he died in the hospital just as God had told her. Second part, that Israel will give the Palestinians a state. But it will be a temporary measure to allow the Israelis time to strengthen the military. Then oil will be discovered in Israel. Who knows why God would speak to Leslie Johnson about oil in Israel? We have one person? Just one? There you go. Okay, that was just a few. Oil will make the Jews willing to fight for their land. Israel and America will go against most of the rest of the Arab world. Now, this happened January 22nd of 2006. God spoke these audible headlines. This is not the order they were spoken, but this is the order that I personally believe that they will be fulfilled. I believe that it says, Omer ushers in Palestinian state. These are actual headlines, and I suspect that they'll probably be on the Jerusalem Post. That's just a guess, but on some newspaper someplace, it'll appear, Omer ushers in Palestinian state. We don't know what an Omer is. Catastrophe hits America. One of America's greatest times of need. Israel refuses help to America. Israel has attacked America, sends troops. Chaos reigns as Americans protest help to Israel, and it will start with an internal revolution. As she heard my voice quoting the angel that spoke to Dimitri Duduman, the fall of America would start with an internal revolution, started by the communists. Some of the people will start fighting against the government. The government would be busy with internal problems. Then from the oceans, Russia, Cuba, Nicaragua, Central America, Mexico, and 2 other countries will attack and defeat America in one day, in 1 hour. Such great riches will come to naught. Now I'm going to come back and talk about these headlines here in just a minute, but I just want to cover them right then. We'll come back. Now let's talk about the tsunami. Ephraim was shown that when this meteor hits, it's going to cause a 1,000-foot tsunami in Puerto Rico. Prophet Leslie was shown this. May 4th, 2006, I dreamed I saw a tsunami heading for the shores of America. I heard in the spirit, it's 20 stories tall. I said to Stan, I see a huge tidal wave. He asked, how big? I said once again, it's 20 stories tall. And Stan said, Leslie, don't you mean 20 feet tall? You see that tsunami that hit Banda Aceh, December 26, 2004, was only 4 foot tall, killed 160,000 people. I said, no, it's 20 stories tall. A story is 10 feet. That means that tsunami is 200 foot tall. That's what she saw. Now, that may be more in the northern area. Others have seen 300. Ephraim said 400. So it'll be various. What God's trying to say is going to be big, okay? Without trying to figure out whether it's 200, 300, 400, it's going to be big. It's happened. It's true, okay? So there's the first person that saw a tsunami hitting the East Coast. Apostle Augusto Perez also spoke right behind this pulpit, and he said he was shown that a tsunami will hit the East Coast of the United States and will go inland from 20 to 25 miles. Last night, Ephraim said, no, it'll be more like 100 miles inland. It'll be totally devastating. So there's 2 people that have seen the tsunami. Augusto went on to say, I saw a tsunami striking the East Coast of Virginia, Maryland. He said something had caused a gigantic hole in the ocean off the East Coast of Virginia and Maryland, which had triggered a massive tsunami on the East Coast. What he's saying is he saw the tsunami, but what he's also saying is he saw what causes it is an additional meteor. Now, they said that common icing was broken up into pieces. Virginia Boldea said that she saw how many? 3. We've already had 2 people say there's 3 meteors hit, not just 1. Could it be that Ephraim was shown 1 of the 3 and what was going to happen to that devastation? But could it be there's yet still more going to be all part of it? And what if that is that comet icing that they said broke up? Okay, it didn't just evaporate. Those chunks of some are still out there, right? Floating around. He went on to say the city of Chicago was destroyed 2905. He saw in this vision. I was in the city of Chicago when I felt a great earthquake. All the people were very scared and panicked at what was happening. Then I heard in the background the song, The Night Chicago Died. He says, I had this in my vision twice. He says the interpretation is Chicago will suffer a terrorist attack and earthquake, both causing devastation in the city. I was on the 3rd floor looking down at the East Coast beach when the water began to retreat rapidly in the sea, exposing the land beneath. It was a tsunami coming. I yelled to warn the people, saying they had 20 minutes to get out, but no one believed me. They kept on having a good time. Does that sound about right? Yep. I went back into my room. Suddenly I saw boats of all sizes, catamarans, all kinds of sailboats, hundreds coming in, people scared, jumping off the boats, running to shore. I saw the look of panic and horror on their faces. I could see the giant tsunami in the distance, making its way towards the beach. This is an actual picture of actually that tsunami that hit Banda Aceh. And somebody said, and those 3 people were never found. See, they're standing there. So there's a lot of people standing there. God is talking about the end times. But they're standing there looking, but they're not knowing what they're seeing. And I thought, boy, that's really prophetic. It's really pathetic. They ought to be knowing. Bob Newman says the key is that something that is about to happen that destroys Florida and all of the East Coast are tidal waves caused by several large asteroids that strike the Atlantic and the Gulf of Mexico. There's 3. John Johnston, another one, saw it. I dreamed I was on the boardwalk in Virginia Beach. I saw a giant black wall, a massive tidal wave heading to the shore. It was 300 foot high. In 2008, I saw a group of people on the boardwalk anointing it with oil. They said they were doing this because they had dreams that a giant tidal wave was going to hit the east coast of the United States. That's 4. So now we have 4 people to say that they saw a tsunami hitting the East Coast. Efren Rodriguez, Leslie Johnson, Augusto Perez, John Johnston. It seems like there was even another one I saw there. Earthquake. All right. How many people have seen something about an earthquake? Joel 3:1 says, "Behold, in those days and that time when I shall bring again the captivity." You see that word captivity? Doesn't mean put them in jail or prison. It means return the nation to a former state of prosperity. When I will bring again the wealth or the prosperity to Israel, I will gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat means judgment. In other words, this is talking about Armageddon. Down to Armageddon, and I will plead with them for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, and, here it is, look at that, those are big words, parted my land. Will Israel be parted? Yep. So will the meteor hit America? Will America be split? Yes, yes. Michael Boldea and his younger brother Serge, that's 2 people, and another proven prophet from Romania, February 3rd, 2006, all got the same dream, same night, that an earthquake hit California. The largest of this generation, the Golden Gate Bridge fell, large chunks of California fell in the ocean, so big it affected 10 states and they had to redraw the lines on the map. That's big. So now we have 3 people say large chunks of California fell into the ocean. So, question. What if America forces Israel to give the Palestinians a state? Could the newspaper headline read, Omer ushers in Palestinian state? Yes or no? Could it? Yes? Okay, good. Lindsey Williams, a chaplain on the Alaska pipeline of the 70s, made friends with many of the ruling elite. He was told that the elite consider themselves to be gentlemen and think not informing the general public of their plans is unsportsmanlike. That they need to tell the people, so they use news and movies to put forth their fair warning. Okay? Now, who's the most subtle beast of the field? So, are we expected to see the ruling elite come out on worldwide television and say, there's a meteor coming? No. Instead, they're going to do it very subtly, because that's the way the beast speaks, okay? Very subtly. This makes them feel empowered to see their victims totally helpless and unable to prevent their own demise after given fair warning. So, have the elite given us fair warning that there is a meteor coming? Have they? I'm going to say yes, we have been warned. We want the president to come on national TV. I said that. 2001, 4 months before 9/11. The Lone Gunman was a television series, a takeoff on the X-Files, in which a jumbo jet is hijacked and controlled from the ground. Plane is going into the World Trade Center. Does that sound familiar? At the last moment, the pilots regain control and avoid hitting the World Trade Center. That was our warning. June 5th, 2005, FX Network aired Oil Storm, a story Hurricane Julia strikes New Orleans, Louisiana, kills thousands of people, stronger than a Category 5 storm, destroys a major pipeline. The price of gasoline consequently soars to above $3 a gallon. 3 months later, August 29th, Katrina hit New Orleans. Gasoline then rose to above $3 a gallon. Was that a warning? Okay, so if they warned us about 9/11, if they warned us about Katrina coming, what about a meteor? Have they warned us that a meteor is coming? What do you think? It's called Deep Impact. It came out May 8th, 1998. That date's important. Unless a comet can be destroyed before colliding with the Earth, only those allowed to be in shelters will survive. Will people survive? And by the way, the lead actor was Morgan Freeman, a black president. Is that dating it? And they can't tell the population for fear the population will go into panic. The world elite then begin to prepare survival underground bunkers. In October 2005, Stephen Dollins, was thrust into a global scene. When the Lord showed him the Illuminati card game, predicted many events of the past and future, and he made the very popular DVD Illuminati game Blueprint for World Domination. Today, there are many websites dedicated to just the Illuminati cards. Do the Illuminati cards speak about a meteor, about a tidal wave? In the early 1990s, the Secret Service attempted to stop the distribution of this deck of cards called Illuminati New World Order. One of the cards clearly portrays an airplane hitting the World Trade Center, another shows the explosion of Pentagon. Stephen says they seem to show other things of the future. Would you believe? One of them says that there's going to be a meteor strike and a tidal wave. 2 months after the deep impact, this came out. The second movie, In the Mouth of Two or Three Witnesses. They told us they made 2 movies about it. This Armageddon, after discovering an asteroid the size of Texas is going to hit Earth in less than a month, NASA requires a team of deep core drillers to go up into this asteroid and drill into it and put a nuclear weapon, explode it, and save the Earth. Well, the point is, there's 2 movies about a meteor hitting the Earth.
Now from the Prophecy Club, some exciting opportunities for you. You must get these 2 DVDs. Outside of the birth of Christ, I think this is the most important information since the flood. Prophet Ephraim Rodriguez was shown in a vision that a large meteor will hit near Puerto Rico and cause a 1,000-foot tsunami there, but it'll be 200 to 400 feet high and go 100 miles inland on the east coast of America. It will also split America from the Great Lakes to the Gulf of Mexico, and large chunks of California will fall into the ocean, killing millions of Americans. In a second DVD, I put the whole picture together, quoting 6 other people that also saw a large meteor hit Puerto Rico, 4 for the tsunami hitting the east coast of the United States, 6 the split of America in 2 pieces, 3 large chunks of California falling into the ocean, 3 also saw the reason for this is because America forces Israel to split her land. Get both DVDs valued at $60 for a gift of $30. It's good for the ministry, but you have to have this information. Call 785-266-1112 or go to prophecyclub.com. Get the Meteor offer today. Get it today. How can I possibly begin to tell you what you really need to know about the last days? We have so many DVDs at the Prophecy Club, but this particular DVD is a must-have. It's called Revelations for the Midnight Hour by Maurice Sklar, and he covers 10 visions. These aren't just dreams, brothers and sisters. These are visions. And the 10 visions are the tree of knowledge of good and evil, the 6 Babylons, the vision of the mantle of Elijah, the vision of the 10 lamps, the vision of the Victorian mansion, the vision of the wedding supper, the closing of the gates, 3 wars of Israel, preparation of the bride, and the vision of heaven. All 10 of them, 1 DVD, valued at $30. We're making it available today for a gift of just $15. Call 785-266-1112 or go to prophecyclub.com. 785-266-1112, Visions for the Midnight Hour by Maurice Sklar. We've had about 150 speakers make about 300 different titles, all dealing with Bible prophecy. But may I say, I think that these 2 DVDs may be some of the most important DVDs to get if you want to understand what may be coming in the near future. The first one is talking about how America is the final Babylon. The second one is talking about timelines, how soon the tribulation may start, and they claim that the tribulation will start in 2018 and be all over by 2025. They have lots and lots of research to be able to say that. Get both of these DVDs, valued at $30 each, but now you can get both of them for a gift of just $30 to the Prophecy Club, 785-266-1112, or online at prophecyclub.com. End Time Babylon and Prophetic Timelines.